Alright fellas, what's going on? Denonu here, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And we got another Civil War trailer today. Really wasn't expecting this. I don't keep up with when the trailers drop and everything. But I woke up 1 or 2 in the afternoon and seen a few people putting up videos on it. So I was like, let me check out this trailer. And what I got was pretty much what I expected. They actually showed Spider-Man. I'll get to that at the end of this commentary and tell how I feel about that. But you basically got, I'm not going to say a more serious trailer, but this trailer, the tone of this trailer was like super serious, and it kind of told you from the pro registration side why they need this, why they need that. It's kind of like if the last trailer was Cap's trailer, this is Iron Man's trailer. You know, you had a lot of really great moments with Tony Stark talking with Steve Rogers, things like that, kind of showing you like other scenes before the scenes that they showed in the other trailer, and they piecemealed stuff together and it looked really good. You saw a little bit more of Iron Man kicking ass and showed what happens when you make the Iron Avenger very angry. I love that scene where he basically pimp smacked Cap when he looked at him. That's probably like my favorite part of the trailer. I'm a huge Iron Man fan and a huge Cap fan, but probably more of an Iron Man fan more. But besides that, you had a lot of cool looking CG shots. You had Ant-Man, riding Hawkeye's arrow in the air and then jumping off the arrow, flying through Iron Man's fingers, and I'm assuming he's gonna like enlarge or punch him in the mouth or something. But that was a great looking scene. You had a scene with Scarlet Witch, kind of looked like she was weighing Vision down, like using her powers to manipulate gravity or manipulating his density or something, because it looks like she was pressing him down on the floor and he was on his knees looking at her. And it seems like, and I'm just going on the assumption, but I know in the comic books they had a relationship. Given how Age of Ultron ended, I'm assuming they might at least touch on that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not going to make them have kids or nothing like that, like in the comic books. But it looks like, I'm just going by just the look on his face in that scene in the trailer. It's almost like it wasn't a look of pain; it was more like a look of being betrayed. And I'm just guessing, but I think they may have like a fling in the movie, and then like, you know, shit happens and I'm not gonna say she turns on him, but she doesn't go on his side, and that's what I think the betrayal look is for. I'm hoping that's where they go, because it would build more back and forth with character depth and everything. You had more Cap stuff. You had Black Panther chasing Bucky when he was riding on the motorcycle. That was pretty good. I like the way they showed him running, and then when he leapt off on all fours, because he does that in the comic books a whole lot. You also had the helicopter taking shots at him and stuff, and he was just standing there with his vibranium suit blocking all the bullets, so that was pretty cool. I'm glad to see they kept that the same and didn't just make him have a costume, you know. I'm trying to think of something else really to say about it, but this trailer has mostly been a mashup between, let's say, a couple new scenes and kind of what they had in the last trailer during the Super Bowl. And it was definitely pretty good. It was definitely pretty good. It was just more on the Iron Man side of explaining why he's mad at Cap and why he's for the registration and things like that. It shows where he gets his intensity, because they had like they showed a couple scenes of that roadie thing, so you saw how he got shot, then he landed and stuff, and then they showed the scene of him taking off the faceplate like before, and it's basically, this trailer was defining why he is the way he is in the movie. And I'm really like to see that, because I was kind of worried about that, because in the comic books he has his reasons. Him and Mr. Fantastic, they explain why they do what they do. But in this, since they're not going by what's going on in the comic books, Tony Stark doesn't have any kind of motivation to be pro-registration, you know, other than the fact of he's guilty over what happened in Age of Ultron. You know, being since, you know, I can't even say he made Ultron, because he really didn't, but let's say it was his idea to kick start all of that, and so maybe he feels guilty because that's Age of Ultron was the direct result of him starting that whole program. He feels guilty from it, so maybe he feels as though the registration is maybe he feels he needs limitations, and he feels as though he needs to strive for that because of he's trying to prevent other things like Age of Ultron. It makes sense. That's where I think they're going with his storyline. But I really did like I was kind of worried because I'm a huge Iron Man fan. I kind of know what he's capable of, at least in the comic books. And since I know what Cap is capable of, I was kind of worried because in the trailers they just show Bucky and Cap like whooping his ass, no contest. And I know that's not how it would be. If this was the comic books fighting each other and stuff, I mean, Iron Man is just his tech is way too strong for Cap to even fight, really, at least for long term. But in this trailer, it showed, at least when they fight, like, I have a feeling they're going to do Civil War, and they're going to do the fights in it like they do team up comic books in Marvel comic books, where they're going to come in there. Cap is going to have his fight scene where he whoops Iron Man's ass. Iron Man's going to have his fight scene where he beats down Cap. And I was kind of worried about them not showing that, since this is like a Captain America movie technically. But judging from everything I'm hearing about the movie, they're like, they want you, like, it's a Cap movie, but they're trying to, like, they said Iron Man is going to get his piece too. Like, he's not just in the movie just for the sake of being in the movie. And after seeing this trailer, those worries that I had with that were kind of sort of put to the wayside. I think that they're both going to get their shot. I think they're both going to get their shine. I don't think Iron Man is just going to outright beat Cap, and I don't think Cap is just going to outright beat Iron Man. I really don't. But it's going to be very interesting to see, and I'm more pumped for this movie than I am for, let's say, Batman v Superman. I know I keep saying that, but it's just that for me, Batman v Superman, I see all the flaws in it. I could be wrong. I could see the movie, and maybe those flaws, maybe once I see more of the movie, maybe I'll have a different opinion. But as so far, I'm judging everything based on my comic book knowledge and everything I know about all the characters and everything, and then judging by what I'm seeing and who they got playing them, and trying to predict what the storyline of the movie is going to be. So far, I'm not feeling Batman v Superman. I'll go see it. Matter of fact, I already got my tickets for it. I already bought them a month in advance, but I'm just not feeling that. And with Civil War, it hurts me that they're not doing the comic book, because that to me has a lot more emotion behind it. It had a lot more weight behind it. You really understood both of their sides in doing it. And I'm hoping that, I wish this movie wasn't called Civil War. I wish it would have been something else. Because just by the fact of them just giving it the name Civil War, that implies a lot. And it's something that they can't do on film yet. Maybe sometime in the future we'll get to it, but who knows. But I wish that the only really flaw I see with this movie is, I think it's going to be good. I really do. I think it's going to be great. If more people feel like I do about Batman v Superman, I think this movie is going to be bigger than Batman v Superman. However, personally, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Batman v Superman might sell a little bit more. I think this movie's going to sell, don't get me wrong, but I think when Batman v Superman comes out, that's going to, I don't know if it's going to beat Marvel's records, I don't know if it's going to be that big, but I think the overall sales, I think it's going to be bigger than Civil War money-wise, as far as opening weekends and all that stuff, because it's Batman and Superman. It's come on. But I think Civil War might be the better movie of the two. Batman v Superman might make more money, but I think the way it's written, the script, what's going on, the intensity of it, I think Civil War is the better of the two movies, whereas Batman v Superman kind of feels like it's heartless and soulless, and it feels like they're just doing it for the money. They're not, they don't have no heart invested in it. They're not, doing it for the fans. It feels like they're just doing it just to do it. And for me, being a fan of that medium, that's kind of like a big fuck you. That's like you're stabbing me in the knife and twisting it. I'm not saying that they got to do it my way, but it's just the way that they're doing it, I'm definitely not a fan of. Whereas with Civil War, I may be unnerved about it, where it's like, oh, you know, I don't want them to do that because they can't do it right. But at the same time, it's like, it's just because I'm a really big fan of the medium and I really love those characters, you know. So it's like, those are kind of concerns that every hardcore comic book fan has with seeing a comic book movie. So I can't really complain about it too much. But anyway, and also we had Spider-Man was actually revealed. I was really thinking they were gonna save, you know, Spider-Man for the actual movie. I think that would have been better, but they actually had him show up at the end when Iron Man called them underoos. That part had me dying laughing. But so far we have you know, the suit. He seemed like they went with the regular version of the suit. They just definitely touched it up a little bit. He also had like bold black stripes on his shoulders and on his feet, or on his legs rather, not his feet, but also on the mask and everything. He had the really mechanized eyes that kind of sort of closed. It really reminds me of like back in the day Spidey, like probably the Spider-Man, not the Spider-Man generation, but let's say the generation before me. It seems like this costume is a throwback to that, because the generation before my Spider-Man, like I grew up with Spider-Man, and let's say in the 80s and 90s, but before that it was done by, I think it was 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 was the guy that did it. He did a lot of Spider-Man stuff back in the day, and he had the real bold, you know, mask marks, the bold designs when it comes to the characters and stuff like that. That's what the mask really reminds me of. I don't know why they made it a mechanized mask. That's the only thing that I don't, you know, understand why they did that. Maybe, and this is just me guesstimating with comic book knowledge, is that I think that because in the comic book, Iron Man made the Iron Spider, right? They can't show the Iron Spider in the movies, or at least just yet, since they're not doing the whole Civil War thing from the comic book. So they're not just going to make him have a new outfit. They have to put him in the regular outfit. But they probably also feel like they have to change it just a little bit, kind of like they do all the Marvel outfits and everything. I'm not a fan of the bold lines on his legs and his feet. The mask thing, I'm fine with, but it's just I just don't see why they can't just put him in the regular outfit. I don't even mind that the eyes are animated like that, because if they, let's say, I think they're just going to be mechanized. I really do think that they're just going to be binoculars inside his mask, just so that, let's say, like if he wants to see something far away, or if he's web swinging where he has to look long distances like that would actually help. That is a functional upgrade to his suit. So that's why I'm not, upset about that. That's plausible. But I just don't like the other lines on his arms and his legs. But I thought about it for a second, and I was like, you know what? That does make sense. If I know in the comic books, the Civil War, the pro registration side was talking about policing superheroes and stuff like that, and I was thinking that it makes more sense as if, and this is just coming from, I'm not going to say a militarized standpoint, but something along those lines, where you have to have a uniform, and it makes sense that everybody's outfit, or let's say that were let's say registered, would have to have it would be a superhero costume, yes, but it would have to have a similar defining look of all of the other costumes and all of the other people and stuff. Like if they made Ant-Man's costume have the same bold lines on the arms and on the arms and legs, and let's say, I can understand Iron Man might not have it, because you already see him in full getup, you already know what he's about. But let's say like anybody else who wasn't as, let's say, defined would have like that kind of look to it, then it could be just a visual representation of just having all unified outfits, and maybe that's where I think that they're going with this. I could be wrong, but what I'm hoping is that with this new look, I'm hoping that when you first see him or whatever, or let's say in Sony's Spider-Man movie that used the same Spider-Man, that he's going to have the regular outfit, You know, the one that we all know and love, his original one. Let's hope that he doesn't have the webs underneath his armpits, because I hated that outfit. Let's hope they don't go too far original. But let's say he's gonna have the Spider-Man outfit we all know and love. And then in this in Civil War, since this is, let's say, after the fact, I'm assuming this is going to be after he already joined up, and Tony's like, look, I like your suit, it's cool, but it's less functional, let me make a few upgrades to it. And then the suit that he's wearing in Civil War is the result of Tony tinkering with his suit, trying to add improvements where he sees fit. That's what I think, and that's what I'm hoping that they do, but I don't know until the movie comes out. But anyways, sorry for rambling on, fellas. My name is Denonu, the man with black privilege, the biggest and blackest privilege on YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.